Well, good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. I want to open up today's show with a question. A question that most of you probably are asking yourselves. Why is the American public having to force our government to go after PDF files? And why do we even have to use coded language about the word PDF files? I mean, the reason is obvious. We all know. But wouldn't social media platforms want us using a specific term used to describe one of the worst crimes one human can do to another? It's almost as if the very censorship of the word screams that they are protecting this group. Some days I wake up and I wonder what kind of reality we're living in, where we're literally having to beg our government to hold people accountable. The mind control is so strong that part of the American public is actually defending a cover-up, simply because they want to defend their side, the Republicans or the Democrats. And yes, they've even managed to politicize something that should be unpoliticizable, right? Now, the truth is, for those of you that tune in, there is a stain on America. An epi stain, or Epstein, and I believe that all of this was spiritually significant. We know that epi, or epinephrine, degrades into adrenochrome, the substance of fear, the substance of youth. And this whole Epstein thing goes far deeper than anyone can imagine. We're going to first get into some headlines today. Then we're going to revisit the highlights of a particular movie decode that we did called The Pizza Man, in which a character who plays Trump appears, because all of this is happening right now. Pizza delivery is happening right now in America. We all know what that means. But let's begin with some of these headlines. Good morning, everybody. This guy, remember this guy? The Dragon. Now, why do I call him the Dragon? Well, his name backwards is Dragon. Let me show you. Nygard. Now, we had figured this out about 5 years ago when we decoded this guy. And now he's in the Epstein files. Now, what kind of mother would name her? Well, I guess this is his last name. He must be from a long line of dragons. But anyway, we knew something was up with this guy. Why? Well, look at this creepy picture. It's like all these people wear this orange makeup. He straight up looks like a dragon, doesn't he? Dragon in a skin suit. And here he's got the orange makeup to cover up the obvious signs of the living dead. But why did we cover this guy? Well, we already knew he was connected to Epstein, didn't we? How did we know this? Well, they both had islands. They were both filthy rich. They both had accusations of underage individuals against them that they were trying to pay off. Both were working on some kind of IVF or fountain of youth stem cell research. They were both fascinated with scientists and things like this and other demonic stuff. So now this guy has been out in the Epstein files as connected to Epstein, as we said he would likely be. Let's read this. 3 Canadians in latest Epstein file release. Canadian sex offender and disgraced fashion mogul Peter Nygard was among 3 Canadians mentioned in the most recent release of files connected to the stain, we're going to call him. On Tuesday, U.S. Department of Justice released 30,000 pages of documents, including pictures, court records, emails connected to the stain. Not much else to say there, other than the Billionaire Club is a very small club. Now, here's where things get interesting. Trump got busted surveilling one of the whistleblower reporters who helped lead to the Epstein arrest. What? Yes, the Epstein files revealed that the Justice Department was tracking this woman's flight logs the day before the stain was arrested. And this is creepy on many fronts. People in power usually do this so they can quickly dispose of those who get too close to the truth. There's really no other reason why they were tracking this woman's flights, right? She's a reporter. Unless they were trying to find dirt on her, the implications of this are chilling. Now, in case you're having a little bit of trouble tracking what I'm saying here, here's the scenario. The reporter was in contact with hundreds of victims. And so at any given moment, one of the victims could have come forward with some damaging evidence, let's say DNA proof, a pair of underwear or clothes she was wearing when in contact with this with someone, maybe Trump, Epstein, or whatever. Or they could have had a photograph, a digital photo from a cell phone, or a physical Polaroid or something like this, right? And the reporter obviously would be the pinch point to break the story. So this would be the stopgap. So they were probably monitoring the victims as well, but the reporter is the stopgap. Here's the woman here. And so what happens is, if this woman was about to break a story and they were surveilling her, so if they were looking at her flights, they might have been tapped into her cell phone too. They would have been able to maybe cause an accident, right? Before the story broke. Maybe a plane crash with everybody else on board. Now, the scenario seems far-fetched, but look at the ends that they've gone to cover this up to begin with. There are also now grumblings of people starting to realize that Trump is liar in chief. And he likely, now people are starting to say, oh, okay, if he's willing to lie about that and protect billionaires, then maybe he did fake his assassination attempt. And maybe Epstein died under other reasons connected to Trump. People are starting to ask really tough questions now because of all the lies and the diversion and distraction. Why was he tracking this woman's plane? Now, of course, the nothing to see here crowd is saying, oh, they were tracking anyone connected to the victims. Well, this is a different scenario. This is a reporter talking to victims to gather information to go after Epstein. The Department of Justice shouldn't care where this woman flies. She has a right to her own privacy, but yet they did. And here's the evidence here from the files. What a trip, you guys. What a trip. Now, here's another page from the Stain files. This one, the Florida Justice Department or the Florida DA or something literally threatened the victims who came forward with possible crimes. Let's read this. But the police at that point had to let blank know that what she had done, that she could be facing charges. And that was after they had told her earlier that she didn't need an attorney present, correct? Exactly. Okay, so this happens to her with the Palm Beach Police Department. And did the Palm Beach Police actually present or propose charging blank? They did get a probable cause affidavit against blank. And is this why Mrs. Blank and her attorney were concerned about her testimony here? Yes. Now, was a subpoena issued for Mrs. Blank on behalf of this grand jury? Yes, it was. And before Miss Blank would comply with that, did her attorney request some sort of order? Yes. And what did he ask for? He asked for immunity for Blank. So, literally, some of these victims were threatened with facing charges for trying to go after this traffic ring. And this was by the Palm Beach Police Department. Now, many people noticed that Pam Bondi was around in Florida during this time as, I believe, like the Attorney General. It's weird how she's now in charge of this cover-up. So spooky. Now, what else is going on? Well, those were the major updates to the Epstein files. It's a complete mess, and we'll continue to track that as time goes on. Meanwhile, the Trump administration acts as if nothing has happened. They're doubling down on this world war with Venezuela. They're basically stoking the fire, poking the hornet's nest. And now Russia and China finally pipe up. Too little, too late. Where was the rhetoric out of these countries for Trump stealing oil headed to China? And now it's almost as though they're forced to say something. Now, all this is likely fake. China and Russia don't really care. And believe it or not, Maduro is the outsider here. He's the common denominator who refused the World Bank money. And compared to the crimes of Russia, China, and, yes, of course, the United States, last I checked, Maduro hasn't invaded any countries, and he's trafficking much less fentanyl than we are in our own country. And he's been sanctioned, and they're trying to starve out Venezuela for not being part of the world oil and banking cartels. That's the truth, if you want to know it. And so they're going to squeeze him just like they did all of the other leaders of other countries who didn't want to join the bank. Maduro's just the latest one. And let's read about what's going on with this. Let's see if there's anything to hear here.
Of what Trump has done so far, the Heritage Foundation. Brett, great to see you.
Yeah, great to see you as well, and Merry Christmas.
It is such a relief, and it's just long overdue for a president to actually come down hard on Venezuela and its leader, Nicolas Maduro. What do you make for
the programming is thick. Fox News, of course, just laying it on thick. I don't know how these people do this with a straight face. It's really unbelievable. Long overdue? Really?
First of all, of what Trump has done so far regarding trying to stop this narco trafficking.
It's already been proven that the only thing coming from Venezuela is cocaine. And there are 5 other targets that Trump could have went after if he was serious about stopping fentanyl. But unfortunately, conservatives on the right will believe whatever Fox News says. Let's keep watching.
Crisis that we've seen now for decades, and nobody's ever done anything about it until now.
You know, and I'm hearing this kind of rhetoric even out of people that I care about. They're like, well, at least he's doing something. Well, he's doing something for nothing. It's not about him doing something. It's about what the true motive is. Okay, yeah, some drugs are possibly being taken off the market, but as I said, they were likely all filled with cocaine, which everybody knows. The overdose rate of cocaine is almost nothing compared to fentanyl. And Trump has 5 other targets he could go after. He could go after Mexico. He could invade Mexico, and then we might believe him that he was really trying to do something about fentanyl. He could put sanctions on China for sending the precursors in. He could go after any other country if he's thinking bang for his buck, but instead he's doubled down on Venezuela.
Yeah, I mean, for historical context, I mean, we've been fighting this war against the narco cartels that span more than any one country. It's bigger than Venezuela since the late 80s. But really, only in the last 6 months or so, by ratcheting up the pressure and actually attacking these drug smuggling boats and actually interdicting the illicit trade that's coming out of Venezuela, has President Trump, for the first time in recent memory, actually gone to the heart of the issue. And that's the business model, the money-making capacity of these illegal, illicit cartels that rely on regimes like Maduro's to provide them a protection racket to operate and move their poison into the United States, kill Americans. And it's also become a springboard for the Chinese, the Russians, and of course, terrorist groups like the IRGC out of Iran and Hezbollah as well.
Yeah, and this is a situation.
So in one sentence, he just blamed Venezuela for every other country that we're enemies with. Wow.
Where Democrats have been calling this inappropriate and calling it murder. The president.
And there goes the politicization, right? Oh, the Democrats are calling this. No, there are lots of Republican people and conservatives like myself who are also against what is happening because it's more war, more treasure, more American lives when we were promised this wasn't going to happen. If you want to do something practically about fentanyl and you're serious about fentanyl, I don't have a problem with that. But go where you're going to get the bang for your buck. Venezuela is just a side player. They're way down on the rung, maybe 10th place out of other places you could put the effort.
Calls it terrorism, and when there are terrorists that are trying to harm Americans in the form of fentanyl.
Now they're terrorists. You see what's going on here?
And the millions of deaths that we've seen in this country due to these drugs that are being illegally smuggled into this country. Why would we not want to protect Americans? Where do you see this moving forward in the new year? Do you believe Democrats will ever get?
So if you're not on board with this, you don't want to protect Americans. Does all this sound familiar? You're either with us or against us. Well, at least he's doing something. And don't you want to protect Americans? That's called diversion and distraction.
On board with the fact that what we are doing is just protecting Americans. That is the bottom line. That is the reason.
So ignore everything else. Ignore all the other evidence. The bottom line is we're protecting Americans.
For all of this.
It's all about freedom and protecting democracy. Remember all this? It's just recycled over and over again. Nothing new under the sun.
Well, that's sort of a partisan hyperbole. Really does not consider Americans' best interest, and certainly not our physical security of American citizens on the streets here in the United States. It's purely for political posturing, and it needs to stop. This is an issue.
They're the ones doing the political posturing.
Of national security. It's an issue of physical security of far too many Americans and families that have been hurt and damaged by the narcotics trafficking. But it's also one of.
So why are we still trading with China? Put sanctions on China until all the precursors stop coming over.
Grave national security issue. Congressman Adam Smith, his comments, I think, were off base, missing the mark. For far too long, the United States government has ignored.
Okay, I just can't. I can't do that one anymore. Now, welcome to Clown World. GOP coalescing behind Vance as Trump privately dismisses a third term. So now the new Republican candidate is going to be good old Palantance Vance, Mr. Surveillance, 6G, AI, and beyond. What are you talking about, Casey? Well, Vance was always a Palantir puppet. That's why he was put in. In fact, he was probably put in because they knew he was going to be the next president. I guess we'll see. But this is how it's all shaping up. It's Vance that's the one that looks more presidential than Trump. Trump's kind of like a renegade. That's his personality, whereas Vance is always the measured one, and he's always in the background looking very presidential. So you have to wonder if this is what's next for America. Their script and playbook is so predictable. Now, let me check in with you guys. We're going to go back to a particular decode that we did not too long ago called The Pizza Man from 1991. And the entire movie centers around Bill Maher, who was born on Inauguration Day, like a president, and he's looking for a pizza guy. And by the end of the movie, the head pizza man is Donald Trump, an actor that plays Donald Trump. There's even a Vance character in the movie. You can't make this up. Let's look at this decode from a few years ago. Okay, you guys, welcome back to the channel. If you made it to today's show, this will be one for the archives. Bill Maher's Pizza Man movie. Now, we decoded this back in 2018, but I had to remove it to save the channel. Now, I looked around. Other people have decoded this film more, like after we decoded it. But you guys, what I found, you're not even going to believe. So here we go again. The 1991 film called Pizza Man, in which Trump appears. Of course, it's an actor. It's not really Trump, but it's a person impersonating Trump. Now, here's what's crazy. In 1991, when this film came out, Trump was 45 years old, or 1,660 or 16,611 days. And of course, this is a palindrome. When you flip this upside down, you invert it, it is 1991. The movie centers around Trump. And as you're going to see, he is the final pizza man at the end of the film. Now, we all know what pizza means, but I'm going to prove that this film is all about the traffic. Epstein even appears in the film. Reagan, Trump, and several other politicians. 1991, this was 25 years before Trump's first presidency, yet you're going to see him essentially depicted as a president. Now, let me give you the breakdown of this, and I've got these clips slowed down a little bit so you can understand what they're saying. I've had some critiques about my presentation, information, and understand what I'm presenting to you and the gravity of this, because it almost appears as though these people are following a very, very specific script. And it's both sides of the aisle. There are people pretending to be one thing, pretending to be a Democrat, but they're really a conservative, and vice versa. And even all of that is depicted in this film. Now, this film, I believe, went straight to video. I don't even think this was in the theaters, so it was very difficult to find this. But let's go ahead and get started, you guys. This is literally insane. There's also a Vance connection, which, okay, I'm just going to present this to you because I can't even stand it anymore. Let's get started. So, Mar is an LA pizza delivery driver for a place called Vance's. Now, this is weird because Wikipedia says Vance, not Vince. Vance's. And this was supposedly directed by a guy named JD Athens. So we have JD Vance, which of course is Trump's vice president. But when this was changed, and we'll cover this a little bit later in the decode, when this name was changed was all the way back during the pandemic, long before anybody was talking about JD Vance. Now, Mars, the whole film opens with Mars delivering a pizza. This is him here. He's wearing an orange hat. And let's get started.
I've seen both sides. I'm Elmo Bunn, pizza man.
Now, again, I've got these slowed down so you can hear this. That's why he sounds funny.
After dark, your next door neighbor might shoot you in the back with an assault rifle just to hear the pop.
Now, I don't know if there were assault rifles back in LA in 1991. I'm trying to remember when Columbine happened, but this is weird, right? Let's keep watching. This is the kid, and he, in real life, shares Trump's mother's birthday. And already, you can't make this up. There it is, Sam Pancake, born May 10th. That's Trump's mother's birthday. The woman who plays the dame, which you're going to see in a minute, she was born on the eve of the 5th of November, suggesting some kind of, that's the time travel date, the portal date. And Bill Maher, the star of the show, his birthday is Inauguration Day, January 20th. Bill Maher then goes to deliver the pizza at a mob boss's hideout, which is full of top secret army crates. And he opens up one of these crates and it's full of gold bars. Let's keep watching here.
Gold.
Now, like I said, this film has Trump written all over it. Let's keep watching.
24 karat, pure.
How do you know?
Here's your hand. What's your hurry?
Murder?
I want to be a winner, Elmo. I'm tired of backing losers. I'm changing over to the Republican Party.
Now, this is Geraldine Ferraro. Now, apologies for the sound. This was the only copy that I could find of this. Of course, it was done in 91. Sound quality was horrible back then. Geraldine Ferraro, Ronald Reagan, you just heard his voice. And she's joking about flip-flopping parties. Politicians with no real values.
If that means I've got to kill, steal, and lie, all the better.
Then Michael Dukakis makes an appearance. The dull, bloodless technocrat is all happening now.
I'll be honest with me, Elmo. Do I seem like a dull, bloodless technocrat to you?
Not at all.
A dull, bloodless technocrat. That's what they called me, Elmo. A dull, bloodless technocrat.
Now, here's where things get crazy, because the whole movie, Bill Maher, who plays Elmo, he's looking for his fare, what he's owed for this pizza. $15.23. Now, I had to go through and count, because I couldn't find the script for this film, how many times they said $15.23 in the movie, and it was 23 times. I don't know what the significance of that is, but other than 23 cents was what he was owed, and it appeared 23 times. Now, at this point, Vince, the owner of Vince's Pizza, dies in an explosion after the pizza sausage was laced with explosives. That was like sabotage. And it was at this point that I realized during my decode that they got the actor's name wrong. Vince is Vance.
Elmo, if you purchase firearms in there, that's your right as a citizen. But, I gotta go on the record as a strong supporter of gun controls.
There's gun control.
The world economic power. We control.
There's the World Economic Forum. They call it the World Economic Power. Now, let's go down this Vince Vance matrix. This is insane, you guys. Now, the giveaway would be when they changed it from Vince, as you see here, to Vance, as you see here. And I found exactly in the edit history when this was changed, because this would be the dead giveaway, right? We were not introduced to Vance until 2024. I mean, am I right or wrong? No one knew that Vance was going to be Trump's vice president until sometime in 2024. Maybe it could have been late 2023, but looking at these edits is the dead giveaway. What am I talking about? Well, check this out, and I hope you're sitting down for this one, because Wikipedia said Vince all the way up until, are you ready? May of 2020. And it was at this time, May 2020. Remember, we were in the middle of the pandemic. And all of a sudden, you'd go to October 2020, just before the vaccine came out, and it got changed to Vance, as you see here. Now, you can look all this up on Wikipedia. The edit history doesn't lie, right? So, what was Vance doing stumbling around the Trump presidency? Remember, Vance is connected to Palantir. He's the Palantir inside man. He's probably Trump's advisor on Palantir. Palantir gave Vance $15 million for a Senate campaign. Vance worked for Peter Thiel, who totes around blood boys. So, whoever edited this to say Vance knew something all the way back in 2020. Now watch this. Because the editor who edited it to say Vance no longer exists. His name is Ahmad Tahanafi. And there are no other contributions anywhere on Wikipedia. It's like somebody snuck in and was trying to leave a clue about the future of our world all the way back in 2020. Now, I looked at the distance, the number of days between these two edits that revealed Vance, literally Trump's vice president. And the distance between these two dates was 147 days. So remember, Trump was 45 years old when the film came out. An edit came up essentially predicting Trump's second term, 147, the 47th president. So he was the 45th and the 47th president. So the movie literally predicted both presidencies. Unbelievable. Now, I'm not going to give you the boring details about the subplot of this film, but needless to say, it's about financial corruption in politics. There are like junk bonds mentioned and projects to nowhere. The rail, they talk about the LA rail system, which of course never really got built, I guess, or did it? I don't know. But essentially, that's the subplot of this. And also the subplot is that Bill Maher's looking for his money, and it's ridiculous because they're like, dude, there's bigger stuff happening here that you're uncovering, and all you care about is your $15.23. Now watch this.
We are the world economic power. We control your destiny now.
This guy's from Japan. He's like the Japanese prime minister. And Bill Maher's like, I don't care. I just want my $15.23.
You Americans, you still think you run the world, don't you? Well, you don't. We do. Yet you take no interest in our political system.
We take no interest in our political system.
I am Yasuhiro Nakasone, former Prime Minister of Japan.
So, next, Reagan. And a mention of Back to the Future, which of course Trump, the makers of Back to the Future said that Trump Biff was fashioned after Trump.
Morning, Roland Coon. He doesn't want to play an old geezer. He was just a ploy to get back in the movie business.
Well, what's the problem? Spielberg offered him a job.
Cameo in Back to the Future.
So they're talking about Reagan there and a cameo in Back to the Future. I don't even know if did that happen? Did Reagan play a cameo in Back to the Future? I don't know, but that's what the script said. Now, at this point, Bill Maher arrives at another warehouse. There's lots of warehouse scenes. He's searching for what he's owed for the pizza, and he runs into Dan Quayle, a former politician. And listen to what Dan Quayle says, because Dan Quayle sounds a lot like the modern Trump. Listen.
And I'll show them I'm not a dunce. I'm the mastermind. I'm behind it all. The mastermind. Surprised, aren't you? A little odd. This uniform makes you look at me with more respect, doesn't it? The mastermind. Now I'm General Quayle. I'll rule this country with an iron fist. I'm launching a military takeover of the United States. My face will be posted on every street. I'll parade around at the front lines of tanks.
You can't make this up. Iron Fist, Iron Dome, Golden Dome, military parades, Trump's name all over everything, American takeover. We even have the dunce aspect that we saw in iPad Goat 2 with the dunce cap, and I told you that Trump was the secret third president in iPad Goat 2, but nobody saw it until Trump was elected on Dunce Day. That's when he was elected. Became president. We saw Donald on the wall in the graffiti in iPad Go 2, and then the dunce cap D for Donald. He's the third president in iPad Go 2. Keep watching, because now you're going to see the Golden Dome.
What do you think now, Elmo?
Or the American public cares enough to rise up against a military dictatorship. Defense contractors will sit by while their obscene profits are wiped out. My husband will lead a squadron of B-2 stealth bombers over Washington, D.C.
There's your Golden Dome. Now, this woman is playing Steve Quayle's wife, or Dan Quayle's wife, I'm sorry. And essentially, the big joke here is that she was really the ones pulling the strings behind it all, controlling Quayle. Okay? And so the inference here is that maybe Melania is the one really pulling the strings. Who knows? This is insane. Let's keep watching.
With the full backing of the most powerful Army, Navy, and Air Force in the world. 5 hours of saturation bombing will wipe it off the face of the map. With the federal government demolished, I mean, my husband will form a military junta to take over the country.
All financed by the Japanese in exchange for California.
I mean, it feels like these people have a time machine, but really, they're just closely following a script that goes all the way back to decades before any of these events ever take place. Now, we get to the end of the film, and in comes Donald Trump. And this is when you realize that it's really about him. That Quayle was just like, he was the placeholder. Because remember, Quayle said, oh, it ends with me, I'm the one. But no, really, Donald's at the end of the line. He's the one that ordered the pizza. Trump was the pizza trafficker all along. In other words, everything that Quayle said really applied to Trump. And it's all happening right now. Watch.
Just tell me how the pizza fits in. There's no military takeover of the United States, is there?
Pizza doesn't fit in, Elmo. It's just one of those unexplained random coincidences that draws an unsuspecting innocent into a web of power and intrigue.
Just want to know who ordered that pizza.
It was. That's enough, Elmo. It was me.
Do you see how the transference happens here? It wasn't Quayle who was saying he was going to do all those things because he didn't order the pizza. It was Trump.
It was you?
Come with me. Where do you think I've been? I'm Donald Trump.
What the heck? The film then comes full circle, and we realize that the pizza delivery boy that was missing in the beginning, because he called him Donnie in the beginning, and I didn't screen capture that, but in the very beginning of the film, when Mar goes to deliver the pizza, they're like, oh boy, last time someone ordered this pizza for $15.23, it was Donnie, and he disappeared. Well, we end up realizing it is Donald Trump. He was the boy who disappeared. They all thought he got murdered. So when Bill Maher went to go deliver the pizza, he was all skeptical. He's like, oh no, is this going to happen to me? It was Donald Trump. And you're going to hear in his own words next that he set up this whole petty scheme just to stiff Bill Maher for the pizza delivery because he was jealous that Bill Maher was a better pizza delivery boy. Watch.
I know. Honey, I don't get it. I was just worried sick when you didn't show up after that last delivery.
I'm a billionaire now. Donald Trump. The Trump Palace.
What the heck? Because remember, in 1991, he was still a millionaire. And now here we are, and he's a billionaire, just like in the movie. This is really unbelievable, you guys. I'm getting chills just watching this decode and where we're at now. Let's keep watching.
A pizza man, and a pretty good one.
That was back in the early 70s. Trump, Trump, Trump!
Even how they're depicting him as a petty madman. And Trump is literally playing that out right now. He wasn't like that in the 90s, was he? He was very measured and calm. And you can tell the difference in the interviews in the 1990s compared to now. And now this character in the movie is much more accurate depiction of Trump than it was in the movie in the 90s. Let's keep watching.
Trump, huh?
There was the Chinese connection. Let's keep watching.
Trump.
The Trump Plaza. The Trump Shuttle. The Trump Game. The Trump Book. Now I'm rich. Powerful. People worship me like a god.
Wow.
No, doesn't ring a bell. Why'd you leave the pizza business anyway?
To become a billionaire. Pay attention, will you, Elmo?
Hey, aren't you going bankrupt or something?
I've had some recent financial problems. Beautiful women throw themselves at my feet.
Okay, Trump, yes. You're Marla Maples' boyfriend, right?
And do you know what my mistake was?
Offhand, I guess that you over-leveraged your assets and falsely assumed that real estate values would rise indefinitely. Threw away money on pointless extravagances, ran short of cash, and then...
No. It was you. I should have destroyed you while I had the chance. And that's when it came to me. Pizza Man. To serve hot food to a hungry world.
Now remember, of course, in 1991, nobody thought that Donald Trump would become president, but yet he's standing across from Bill Maher, who was born on Inauguration Day, January 20th.
An angel on wheels, delivering nourishment in a box, to be a lone ranger in an urban jungle. I wanted to be the best pizza man in the world. I bought a Chrysler, I got a job at Vince's, and I was good at it. I was a good pizza man. Yeah,
Elmo. I went back to New York, and with the help of my father's millions, and some loose credit, I was able to build a massive financial empire. You would never be jealous of me because you were the best pizza man in the world. But in the back of my mind, I knew I was a failure because you didn't care. So I set this whole thing up, Elmo. I ordered the pizza just to stiff you.
Pettiness, ego, pride, narcissism. The whole thing was set in motion to bring down Bill Maher, the pizza man. And about the only conclusion that you can draw from what I just showed you is that Trump was the true hidden hand behind the trafficking. And that maybe Maher is playing the Epstein character, the fall guy that went down for Trump. Casey, you've absolutely lost it. You're insane. Nobody is going to believe you. Anybody could string together coincidences to make it look like a story. Are you ready for this? Epstein shares the same birthday as Bill Maher. I hope you're awake. Epstein is Maher, the pizza man. Wow. I guess we'll leave it at that. Back in 2025, I'll put a link to the pizza man. Let me go back into the chat. Unbelievable. Now, what I'd like to do before we pop off of here is to compare Dan Quayle's wife to Melania Trump. Now, I don't know if there's going to be any connections between Dan Quayle's wife, who played the mastermind behind Dan Quayle in the movie. So we said that would be like Melania. Let's take a look, you guys. Whoa. Dan Quayle. All right. Let's see who his wife was. Spouse, Marilyn Tucker. Is she the one? Yep, that's her. Marilyn Tucker. Let's take a look here. Born on July 29th. Let's look that up. We always look at these birthdays and stuff. 210th day of the year, the 155 remaining. Melania Trump was born on April 26th, 1970. $116th day of the year. Oh, there's a 9/11 inverted in Melania's birthday. Don't see a connection there, but let's look at the number of days between the two birthdays. July 29th and April 26th. Whoops. 4/26. There's a 26/29, but that's not strong enough. 7/29. We'll just type in 2025. Doesn't really matter what year. Oh my gosh, this cat is driving me nuts already. He's attacking my toes under the covers. Hey. Oh my gosh. Relax. Okay, did I get that right? 4/26 to 7/29. Let's see how many days between the two birthdays. 94. Okay. Ooh, 3 months, 3 days. That's a little bit weak. You could say 33. I don't know. Anyway, we had to do that just to make sure. Okay, I'm back in the chat, you guys. What a trip. Now let me get your reactions here out of all this. Okay, let's do a poll. Start a poll. Do you think Trump is the pizza man and Epstein was cast or Marr was cast as Epstein. That's just crazy. Let's see. All right. This cat right here. Boots. He's cleaning his boots right now. He's only got top boots too. He's not full booted. He's only got topped. He's got like those, what do they call it? Those things you put on top of the boots to keep the rain out. We'll have to rename him. So 100% of you after seeing the proof. So Linda says Melania Trump, Marilyn Tucker. Oh, there you go. MT. What? Wait, what? Whoa, good one. MT. Wow. Good one. Okay, what are those things called that go on top of the shoes? Let's Google it. What are shoe coverings called to keep rain off? Top only. Okay, Boots, you're going to have a new name. We can call him Spats. He's kind of a spaz. Spats? No, that would confuse him. What does keep boots? Overshoes. Rain shoe covers. We can call him Spats. That'll be his spatter dasher. Call him a spatter dasher. Okay, we'll just keep boots. He looks upset right now. He's like, don't rename me. Okay, I'm back. Wow. Galosh. Spazzy. All right, you guys. Well, thanks for tuning in. I guess we're going to go ahead and pop off of here. And I love each and every one of you. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Tomorrow, we're probably going to get into the next mold apocalypse, unless there's some breaking news. The next one is going to be, looks like copper ryegrass, terror-infected Ouroboros tattoo in the X-Files. So tomorrow, we'll get into X-Files and see how many of these decodes we can get through tomorrow. And that will be tomorrow's show. All right, we'll go ahead and end the poll. Now, what do you think is going on with how did a 1991 movie, The Pizza Man, so accurately depict the future? The future Donald Trump billionaire. Now, nobody thought Trump would be a billionaire when that movie came out because he had already gone through several bankruptcies. Nobody thought he would be a billionaire. So that was eerily prescient, wasn't it? And yet you heard it in his own words. He said, I'm a billionaire now. I'm the pizza man. I want to be the best pizza man ever. So what do you think is at play here? Do you think this is spiritual? Do you think there's a time aspect to this, that these people know the future? Do you think they're following a script? I would like to know. I still haven't figured it out yet. I don't believe in that they can see the future. That would be insane, right? Unless they have a more accurate knowledge of biblical prophecy that we don't know about. I mean, you could say that, okay, the kings of the earth or the false prophet of all these things, it says in the Bible, these people will rule the world. So maybe that's what they're tapping into. And if they know for a fact or knew for a fact that Trump was one of these biblical figures, that he would be in world power, then it just goes without saying that he would be a billionaire. So some of you think time travel, others think it was pre-planned. Others think it's a little bit of all of it. Wow. So, all right, guys, I love you, and I will see you tomorrow. Much love.